Family and friends of a woman murdered in a hotel room speak out, how they remember her and the questions they still want answered.
A person of interest has been arrested in connection with a homicide in Baker. We'll tell you about that.
You're watching Northwest Florida's news station. This is WEAR Channel 3 News at 6 in high definition.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. The murder of a Pensacola woman still makes absolutely no sense to the victim's friends and family. Lisa Barberi's body was found in a Pensacola hotel room last Sunday.
Family and friends are grieving, and they're still trying to accept the fact that she's gone. They spoke with Channel 3's Anthony Purr about how they remember her and the questions they're still asking.
Family and friends still can't say for sure what she was doing in that hotel last weekend. The two men arrested and charged for Lisa's murder. They'd never seen them before, and the victim's mother believes it was just a chance encounter that took a horrifying turn. Lisa Barberi was always smiling in pictures. The 57-year-old never settled down to start a family of her own, but she was always happy, joking and laughing. Her mother, Patsy, remembering Lisa's spirit and breaking into tears.
She had more friends. I mean, she was just so friendly.
Lisa had just moved back in with her mother. Saturday night, she told her mother she was going to a friend's daughter's birthday party.
So I left a message for her to call me, and she would always call me back. That was 10 o'clock Saturday night. And I was worried, but then, you know, I thought she was at this girl's house.
Investigators found Lisa's body in a room at this Quality Inn off New Warrington Road. Deputies arresting these two men for her murder. They were also booked in a room at the hotel. Lisa's mother had never seen them before.
She did not know them. They're from out of town and they were working construction, but she was the friendliest person. She just has to speak to everybody. She would never have asked them to come up to the room. I don't know, but the police said she really fought.
Lisa was a hairdresser. Kathy Bridges worked with Lisa for nearly 14 years at the salon. Her former co-workers working today with heavy hearts.
We're all in shock. We're all in shock. I couldn't understand, why it would happen. In wrong place, wrong time.
Her mother almost lost Lisa once before to breast cancer, but she fought it and survived. Now adding to the grief, Lisa's brother, Patsy's only other child, died of cancer in May. And now this.
I haven't stopped crying.
Now Lisa's family has set her funeral for Tuesday at noon. Bob?
Anthony, thank you. Gulf Breeze police have identified a woman whose body was found Monday night. An autopsy was performed today to determine how 55-year-old Lori Musil died. Results have not yet been released, but police do call the death suspicious. Musil's body was found on the shore of Pensacola Bay, just past the 3-mile bridge. Police say they found no signs of foul play or signs of a struggle, but they do not believe it was a suicide. Musil was reported missing by her family about 24 hours before her body was found. She was last seen Sunday night leaving the Bridge Bar, not far from where her body was found. She was leaving that bar with a man, and police are now trying to figure out who that man was.
The Okaloosa Sheriff's Office says they have a person of interest in a homicide in Baker, but the victim has not yet been positively identified.
58-year-old Glenn Winstead was arrested on unrelated charges on Monday. He became a person of interest in the case yesterday, but deputies really haven't said why. Okaloosa investigators found Winstead's car at a motel in Crestview and found 3 weapons inside. As Channel 3's Rob Brown reports, the victim's body was found on Old River Road in Baker yesterday. It appeared he was shot to death.
This dirt road surrounded by woods runs in front of the very few homes of people who live in this neighborhood outside of Baker. And they say it's quiet and uneventful. That's why they were shocked to learn that authorities had found the body of an apparent homicide victim in this field near where they live. The sheriff's office was working with the Crestview Police Department on a missing persons case last weekend when they received a tip the victim may be in the area. After a search involving a canine unit from the Okaloosa Correctional Institution, they found the victim on a large piece of private property a few miles northeast of Baker.
Off the beaten path, and that's why we live here, It's out in the middle of nowhere. And
this woman, who lives near the scene and asked not to be identified, says gunshots from hunters and shooting enthusiasts aren't uncommon. So if the man was shot there, they would not have known.
We enjoy hunting and shooting, and so you hear it all the time. It's not out of the ordinary.
Authorities have not yet identified the victim or named any suspects, but they say they are following multiple leads and expect to release more information soon. Neighbors say they were upset by the news, but don't expect they'll see any more events like this one in the future.
Very out of place. Actually, I'm pretty shocked. I had no idea that that's what was happening. So very quiet. I mean, we don't see anybody but what few people live on the road.
In Okaloosa County, Rob Brown, Channel 3 News.
State crime labs would get an extra $8.5 million under Governor Rick Scott's proposed budget. Now, the governor wants that money for pay increases to stop turnover and more personnel and better equipment, all in hopes of stopping the growing backlog of cases. But officials say that money will do little about the 11,000 untested rape kits. The FDLE has said that they want to outsource the testing of those kits for $900 apiece. But budget writers say the results may pose a challenge in court.
Can't just do a forensic exam. You've got to move the kits through the process in order to, have the opportunity to provide survivors justice and at least end and limit sexual violence.
Now, in addition to more funding, legislation has been introduced that will require all of the backlog kits to be tested by mid-2017.
A Santa Rosa County man is accused of breaking into his former boss's home and stealing more than 24 guns. Deputies say 26-year-old Roy Pike broke into the home in the 4500 block of Santa Villa Drive last week using the doggy door. 22 firearms, a safe, and a flat-screen TV were stolen. Now, the homeowner was able to identify Pike on surveillance video. Pike is now facing charges including 22 counts of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and burglary.
First warning weather, powered by Pensacola State College.
Well, temperatures falling a little bit, not going to be as cold overnight. Here you go with temperatures in the mainly mid-60s. We've got Crestview a little cooler, Fort Walton Beach 68, Pensacola with a temperature of 67, and we're cloud-free. Dry weather for us, that's going to continue to be the case right on into your Thanksgiving day. So late tonight, low 60s, and then overnight, the lows are generally going to be in the mid to upper 50s. Sunshine for tomorrow, so it's going to end up being a nice sunny day for the most part. A little bit of cloud cover. Highs tomorrow, a little bit warmer, maybe. I mean, just a little. Highs in the low 70s. We're going to take it through the rest of the holiday weekend coming up.
Downtown Pensacola will turn into a rolling car show this weekend at the first Pensa Cruise. The Pensa Cruise will be held Saturday at Palafox Pier on Jefferson Street. And drivers from 11 states participating. It's modeled after Mississippi's famous Cruising the Coast event that was held in October.
What's unique about the Pensa Cruise is that there's never been anything done like this before in this area. The closest is Cruising the Coast in Mississippi. I'm pretty excited because this is the first time a woman has ever been an event director of a car show of this magnitude, and 7 states are required to consider it a regional car show, and we are at 11.
The first cruise and concert start at noon Saturday, the last cruise 6 p.m., and it's a free event. Coming up, a brother and sister looking to say thank you to a couple who found them on the side of the road over 2 decades ago.
I truly believe they saved our lives that night. Finalized that.
How they ended up there and why they will never forget the couple's generosity.
And not your traditional picnic, how a Brownsville church got the idea to host a Thanksgiving feast for the homeless. A J woman wants to say thank you for an act of kindness 26 years ago.
Dana Kelly's looking for a Pensacola couple who picked her and her brother up after their mother abandoned them in the middle of the night. Meg McNamara has their story.
Oh, every time I hear about a mother abandoning her children, my story, comes to mind.
Dana Kelly drives this way every day, Market Road to Highway 4 in Jay. And every day she remembers one particular night 26 years ago when her life changed on this very road.
We never lived with her again. We're able to visit, but never lived with her again.
Dana was 8 and her brother Daniel was 11. They were in the car with their mom coming from a family get-together. Dana says her mom had been drinking. At one point, the car stopped.
And my brother made me get out of the car and wouldn't let us get back in. Basically told her he wasn't going to get in. She was drunk. And then she left, and then she came back, and then she left again, and she didn't come back.
That was hard to take.
I had my brother just waiting here, holding his hand, and, you know, what's next? You know, what's going to happen to us? And thank God they showed up.
To this day, Dana doesn't know who they are, but she remembers the relief she felt when this kind man and woman pulled over on the side of the road and insisted they get in their station wagon. First, they drove to Jay City Hall, but it was closed. Then the couple took them to Dana and Daniel's grandparents' house.
Maybe I just want to find them to say thank you. And what they did that night, they didn't have to do. I truly believe they saved our lives that night.
All these years later, Dana has this couple on her mind and heart.
So I say thank you, you know, it's every day.
Dana remembers the man and woman had their daughter with them and that they were from Pensacola. If you know anything about this couple, just go to our website, weartv.com, and we'll put you in touch with Dana. Reporting in Jay, Meg McNamara, Channel 3 News.
What a story. Alan's got the forecast for us. We come right back.
Well, dozens of people at Wayside Park received a free Thanksgiving feast today. The event hosted by the Brownsville Assembly of God, Saving Souls for Christ ministry. Volunteers, they provided all of the favorites of Thanksgiving, the turkey, macaroni and cheese, the stuffing. It was all for those in need.
The Lord told me back in September to have a feast and feed as many as I can. That's exactly what I'm doing. This is going to be every year. I feed the homeless every weekend, but this is going to be every year.
Well, before trying to fry up that holiday turkey, check out the viral video showing the dangers of improperly frying a frozen turkey. Now, this video has almost 500,000 views on YouTube. The Scambia Fire Rescue demonstrating what can happen when you try to fry a frozen turkey in hot grease. The video was shot outside of our studios back in 2009. Never do it to a frozen turkey. Still got water in it. Water and oil don't mix, and that's what happens. It's kind of a rite of the season, seeing a fried turkey explode.
Channel 3 News First Warning WeatherNet is brought to you by Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strom.
I guess it sort of feels like we've seen it 500,000 times, doesn't it? You know?
We have.
So yeah, it's on our webpage as well, weartv.com. All right, we've got an east wind at times that may pick up a little bit tonight and tomorrow. So little breeze possible over the water too. It's causing really rough conditions. We're going to talk about that in a second. But right now, these temperatures are nice. What a nice night after a beautiful day. We've got temperatures basically hanging in the mid 60s around the area. Some inland areas in the low 60s. And as we head into tomorrow morning, we'll start out with lows for the most part between 55 and 60 degrees. So upper 50s for these coastal areas. Inland areas more likely to see mid 50s, and that breeze will make it feel just a little bit cooler. Here's today's weather, all clear. That's from Portofino out at Santa Rosa Island. We're looking toward Navarre Beach. What a day. Very nice weather, and we're going to see more of that here over the next couple of days. No wet weather to talk about. There's our first warning 3D Doppler showing that the weather is all dry, and we are cloud free now. Not going to see much in the way of clouds. We've seen a tiny bit of rain in areas of Louisiana. Not much, a little bit. Also in central Florida, a little bit of that. Here's kind of the setup. Big area of high pressure causing that east wind and keeping things pretty calm here up and down the eastern seaboard as well as across the southeast region. Futurecast says plan on dry weather tomorrow. More dry weather, a nice Thanksgiving. We'll start with some sunshine moving through the day. Maybe a little bit of cloud cover passes over the skies. Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, also looking nice and dry around here. So to the Gulf now where things are rough. Look at that, wave height 6, 7, 8 feet now, and tomorrow calling for them to be around 6 to 10 feet. Pretty rough conditions with that east wind over the water. Protected waters likely to see choppy and rough conditions. Small craft advisories are in effect, and also the surf is dangerous. Now at Pensacola Beach, they had yellow flags. I'm sure some other beaches were going with red flags today because of the conditions. So it's best to just kind of stay out of the water when you've got a scene that looks like that. They're lifeguards monitoring things. So that view was taken this afternoon from the Hardee's Beach Cam. It's on top of South Harbor condos. You know, Fort Pickens had to close too because sometimes that water washes over the road and makes the road impassable. So that's closed right on through the weekend, Fort Pickens. But there's our view, great view. Always nice to have that from the Hardee's Beach Cam. So tomorrow as well as Friday, I mean, we've got highs that are going to be in the low 70s heading through the weekend. More of the same. Just pleasant, warm weather during the daytime hours. Overnight lows pretty close to 60 degrees. Dry weather through Sunday too. So it looks like that rain chance is holding off. So if you're going to be doing any driving, we know some folks coming back into town on Sunday. It looks like the weather here is going to be pretty good. Early in the week, we've got just a small chance for rain. Pretty low though, only around 20%.